everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of The Worst Heroes You Know, a Tales of the Valiant actual play sponsored by Kobold Press and premiering right here in its entirety on whichever platform you happen to be watching it on, including but not limited to YouTube, Twitch, and the deepest parts of your subconscious, now and forever. As always, I am HamaSamaKun, your dungeon master for this evening, and before we get into our finale, let's get to know our party. Starting with Sam. Tell the people who you are and who you're playing.
I am Sam. I'm a variety creator all over the internet at just Sam or Sam, S-E-U-M. And I pronounce she, her, which are similar to my lovely character Ott, who is our little druid. He's an odd thing indeed.
Perfect. Lamar.
Captain Mointy, last is both, neither, and everyone in between. My name is Lamar, aka Lamar the Conga. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing our lovely matriarch, Nana Maisel, who uses she, her pronouns.
Everyone's favorite grandma. C, take it away.
Hey everyone, my name's C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet. C Plays RPG, and tonight I have the absolute pleasure of playing for the last time, unless you sponsor us with $20 to my Ko-Fi right here and now, Omen, who also uses they, them pronouns.
And finally, Kappa. Take us home.
Hi everyone, I'm taking you home.
Get in the car.
Okay, all right.
You can find me on the internet at the Kappa Chris. I do TTRPG stuff. I do all this, all this stuff. But today, not for the last time, I swear to you, is Artie. I play Artie. Please go back and watch last episode. He uses he, him pronouns. I use any and all pronouns. Let's get into it, yeah?
Yeah.
Swear to me. Sorry, look it up.
Well, with all of that out of the way, pull up a seat, dear viewer, get yourself some tissues, and allow us to conclude the tale of the worst heroes you know. Part 6. The worst heroes you know. What does it mean to be the worst at something? Because even failure has its own beauty to it. To fail means to have tried, and trying is all anyone can ever ask of you. Trying is a promise, because anything worth doing is worth trying. We follow the sun as it rises over the city of Relay. A new day greets quiet streets, and a deep unease settles in the very stonework. Today is the day everything changes. For better or for worse. We open on Worst House, oddly enough, as the party gathers, prepared for the end of their story and whatever that may bring. You stand before a large parade float, the pamphlets stacked high and ready to be distributed as Elizabeth turns to the four of you, and in this quiet says, Are you ready?
Ma'am.
You can see as she kind of leads you over to it and tries to get a better idea of the plan as she asks, so we just, march through the streets, try to convince people on our way up, or what are we doing?
If Brina and Vale were successful, our cue would be when Saga stops appearing and speaking, and instead it's Vale. But I'm worried. They didn't come back after what happened at the castle. If it doesn't go, then I think we just go for it.
We try anyway. We keep going. And we probably save Vale and Brina on the way.
I like that plan.
Certainly wouldn't be the first time the odds were against us, huh?
I've never been against you, actually. Sorry, you gave me that one. That one was very easy.
I did. She kind of, in this moment, just laughs, just genuinely finds entertainment in that, despite the truly soul-crushing circumstances as sort of lead over. And as far as I could tell, it's primarily automated. Luckily, Vale left behind a bit of tech. I tried doing what I could with the notes that they left us, but it's ready to go when you are. I don't really know how much time we have to wait. They very well could break down the doors if they wanted to, but they seem to just be waiting for something.
I think they underestimate us. Which is probably pretty good, because I wouldn't want to estimate us either. But maybe we could use that to our advantage.
Possibly. There is certainly the element of surprise. The propaganda has been pushing this narrative that you are, these horrifying monsters, these villains. So maybe they're intimidated.
It's not like they've ever actually fought any real villains anyway.
All I do know is the longer we wait, the more time they have to push that narrative. So personally, I think we might want to leave as soon as possible.
Yes.
Give it till the end of the hour, as she kind of looks over to the clock, and it's maybe like 10-ish minutes till around dusk when you had originally planned to march out there.
That's another thing. If it does come down to a fight, I don't think it's gonna be that hard. I fought. Sorry, what was the rogue's name that we know? The platinum class rogue? Did we
that
get a
would
name?
have been... No, but having lived in the city, you would know them to be a person named Wolf.
Wolf. Okay. Yeah, I fought Wolf, and it really wasn't that hard. I thought I would blink and be dead, to be honest. But
You're so cool.
I broke his nose. Thank you.
So cool.
It felt cool after the fact.
Yeah.
But there's something weird going on.
Maybe that's good. But we should all try to be to the strongest as possible. Artie, Omen kind of takes the ruffled cloak around their neck and pulls it down to reveal their neck. Take a bite. I can handle it. You should be as strong as possible.
Oh. No, I don't think I need it. I really don't. Thank you.
No?
But strangely enough, I just had a burger and it was really good.
You're pulling
Nice.
our legs.
No. I
Really?
no.
Oh no, to the burger? Not really?
No, I point over at Elizabeth. No, Elizabeth made it and watched me eat it.
That's true, yeah. Whole thing.
I think the curse is lifting.
Nana Maisel, that lotion stuff that you've been giving Artie, I think it maybe healed him.
Yeah, I got some of it in my mouth when I did the disguise. Maybe that.
Oh, there's like magic.
Yes, it was indeed magic, which we do not need to look into any further than accepting that that was magic. I'm so glad that your curse is waning, Artie, but as Nana finally rises up, stretches her arms out a bit. My dears, we are about to go into a battle. Hopefully of words, but we might have to be in a battle of swords. But I want you to remember a few things. One, you deserve to be where you are. You've worked so hard these past couple of days, and you should be proud of yourself. You deserve exactly what you're doing. Believe in yourself, and if you can't believe in yourself, know that I believe in you. So as we march down onto these streets, I need you to keep your head up, your shoulders high, your ass in, and prepared to fight.
This might be the straightest I've ever stood in a long time.
I'm so glad you said stood, because then I would have to have a deeper discussion, but very good.
Odd's gonna interrupt you by running into you, Nana Maisel, with a big hug. Fully just wrapped around you. I'll do anything that you ever need us to, okay? We're here for you too. And you're gonna win. And she's gonna pull away, just like holding onto the sides of your arms. And you woke up sunny side up today. And she's gonna tap your arm and step back. I'm ready.
We're gonna win. All
I
of
mean,
us.
the plan was to leave at dusk just so that I could be with y'all, but I don't think we need that now. We can go. I'm ready.
That gives us a head start too, because it tricks them. Because on the flyers, we definitely wrote dusk on it. Well, didn't quite write it because I don't know if I wrote it correctly. Same with rats earlier, but I colored it to where it's more dusk, but not like warm and pink because that's more dawn to me. I just like purpley.
Nana would put her head on Odd's head as they're rambling.
Yes, ma'am.
You did good. And you'll notice that Nana's hair is like finally falling forward, fully covering her face, as she's clearly trying to hide her expression right now. Before she takes in a deep breath and goes, I believe now is the time. And by the way, if you see Nana, quote unquote, losing it, don't worry. Everything's fine. I just have to go to a little place in my head. But, everything's fine. It's great. Don't worry about it.
It's okay if it's not great too, though.
But it will be. Because you're there.
We're here, and we gotta go.
So,
Go.
We're go.
as you begin to march towards the large double doors of Worst House, parade float, kind of going along, falling behind, you see as Elizabeth takes a second, looks at the four of you, and is sort of misty-eyed. Doesn't say a word, but that look kind of says everything it needs to. She turns back to the doors and pushes them open, and you can see as the sort of like afternoon sun shines down on your party, this huge mob of people start to shout and scream and protest your very existence as you stand triumphant, proud in front of them. Elizabeth starts to walk down and kind of back up a little bit, willing to voice their concerns but not act quite yet. What does your party do?
Omen looks sideways to Nana Maisel. Nana Maisel, I think you said that you're really good at propaganda. Would you start us off?
Sure. As Nana will take step forward, and again she'll remove her robe so it actually feels more like a cape, showing her rusted armor for the first time to the general populace. She will stand tall with her hand upon the hilt of her sword, and she will go, "We are the champions of Worst House, the true heirs to your love and affection. You have been deceived by those in power who have put falsehoods and lies upon you. You have all suffered at the hands of these people, whether it is monetarily, emotionally, or simply worshiping false gods that they claim to be. We are not here to take over, but to liberate, to break the chains of societal pressures upon all of you. We march to truth. We stand as we are, unafraid of what you may see us as, unafraid of all that you have heard, because we know who we are. So, if you don't mind, if you would like to join us, do so. If not, now's the time to get the fuck out of our way."
Make a persuasion at advantage.
21.
21. As you yell out to this crowd that's formed in front of your home, some of them look convinced. They've sort of read through the pamphlets. Some showed up simply out of curiosity to see what you had to say, but your words reach them to a degree. They don't try to stop you as you walk past, but a majority of the crowd lingers in front of Worst House as the parade float starts to move. You continue your walk, and there may be one or two people who follow behind you, though the majority of the crowd is continuing to shout and rave at you, some of which start to approach. One does actually throw a rock. You see as it does hit Elizabeth, who kind of turns and then looks back at the four of you.
Omen straightens up, I think, a little bit. Looks at the person who threw the rock. Points. 2.5 months ago, you misplaced your mother's favorite locket. I know where it is. You dropped it behind the dish rack.
I'm not sure what you would roll for this, but
You
I'll
don't.
give it yeah, you know what? This is more on them. They go from angry to confused to almost relieved as they are too caught up in their own, upon this revelation, too caught up in it to really do anything more. As you continue to walk, you see a handful more people start to crowd behind you, whether it's out of support or just to simply see how this parade ends, for lack of a better term. And you do recognize a handful of people in the crowd. You can see amongst the people shouting, there are others coming to your defense, and they are the people you've helped over the years, people whose basements you've cleared or cats you've found. These are people that know you for you, not for what they tell them you are. And you can see as that crowd starts to sort of build as you begin. You cross the threshold into a new district, and you see these people a little bit more well off, a little bit more up in arms. Some of them have actual weapons, a few clubs here and there, swords, knives, and you can see now the presence of the Platinum Cross is starting to build as some of them do stand in your way. Say, what business do you have here? Upon orders, we're either to take you in or kill you here.
Our business is the truth. The false gods you serve do not care about you. They have disserviced these people. They've disserviced you. I think this whole time, Artie has been kind of holding his breath, watching the illusions in the sky of Saga, just waiting for them to turn. He points up at it, at Saga, and goes, "This one here has fabricated every single quest. The power, the trust that they've earned was built on a lie."
Well, what evidence do you have? Why should we trust you over them?
The
Papers.
The-
The beautiful flyers you made. God.
Oh, I thought you said peepers, and we're talking about eyeballs. And I was like, I don't know what eyeballs you're talking about, Omen. Yes,
No, it's okay.
papers. Sorry.
Just kind of takes the paper. You can see that look kind of run across their face, and Elizabeth provides some of the actual notes. It's just, what they're
this
saying is true.
this might. If you believe us, that's that's great. If you don't, at least give us the chance to confront them. Come with us.
You have to wonder why you were never given the opportunity.
And honestly, if they're as great as they say, we should be dead already.
I fought Rogue. By all means, I should be dead. Sorry, I fought Wolf. By all means, I should be dead.
Look, we're covered in scars from rat bites. We're not even really that good.
Yeah, we're great.
Excellent. Get it? Because I also can make lots of good breakfast. So we're big and strong because we eat where we're supposed to. And it helps us grow bigger and smarter. So we know what we're talking about.
Roll me a persuasion, Artie.
I don't know why I didn't have my dice out. Here we go. Okay, 13 plus nothing. 13.
You see as a handful of them do walk over. The leader is kind of just caught up in it, but doesn't stop you as you pass. A handful of the soldiers do lay down their weapons and just kind of follow behind. Each of them kind of, as they pass, looking up at the illusion of Saga, watching as he spouts this rhetoric that you are these horrible monsters, these creatures of hate and rage who would slay anyone just for a chance to prove yourselves. But that illusion falters because rather than meeting them with violence, with aggression, you met them with a level of empathy and understanding, and that catches them off guard. As you finally make it to the last leg of your journey in front of the castle itself, you can see all the gates shut and closed. Entire army almost standing in front of you. Primarily Platinum Cross members. There are a few castle guards, but for the most part, it's those same people wearing that same insignia, and you can see right at the top, kind of near one of the towers, standing on the balcony, is Saga as he just looks down at what plays out before him. Doesn't say a word, but leaves you to your own devices as they turn and walk back inside. Almost an invitation to step up to him. You can see you're met with that same defense, that same rhetoric of, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Turn around. Stop while you're ahead. So there's just that group. What do you do?
Nana will simply step off the float and walk, calculated but with purpose, towards the door. And if the door does not open, she'll turn her head towards the nearest guard and she'll say, "Do you mind opening the door? We have to confront a bastard."
You can see you kind of have to walk past a handful of the guards as they're all standing at the gate proper. The actual castle is past that. As they say, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we can't let you in. We're under orders. Please just turn around. Don't make this any more difficult than it needs to be." As they seem prepared to fight. Whether that's out of loyalty or just simply because they like expressing aggression. But there is kind of that tension in the crowd as your group meets theirs and you are sort of stood face to face. As you stand at the gate, it is locked.
Nana will turn to that guard, once again standing tall for one time. Not her age seems to have lost in her stoicness. She'll look at him and go, "There's a few ways to look into this. You can stand there and you can be a good soldier, following orders from whoever you are reporting to. And then you could fight us and hopefully go back to your family in one piece, hugging your loved ones. Or we can die right here, right now. And no one will know who you are 10 years from now. Or you can open this gate and you can see Saga take care of the riffraff himself. And wouldn't that be a fantastic show?
Can see they're struggling with the orders, with what they know to be true and what you've presented them as your propaganda. The pamphlets at least have circulated as he just kind of breaks down a little bit. Roll me a persuasion, if you could.
Where's my character? Let's go! That's a natural 20 for a 23.
Okay. Full-on mental breakdown as he looks to you and says, we can't let you in. We can't... None of this makes any sense, because if what you're saying is true, then everything we've done for the last couple of years has meant nothing, and I can't let it mean nothing, as he kind of takes his sword and turns it on you and just, please leave. Just go.
Actually, her hand's still on the hilt of her sword, but she will take a gentle step forward and try to put her hand upon, like, the side of his sword and just gently push it away and says, "This is not the right fight, soldier. Stand down. It will be okay."
See, some of the other soldiers are starting to shift uncomfortably as they see essentially their general go through this, as all of them on all sides, this permeated sound of "they're monsters, we are your heroes" starts to echo through the streets. And General turns up to the balcony, and you can see the sentiment played out on his face of, if you're these horrible monsters that essentially need to be stopped, why aren't they out here with us? And they sheath their sword, turn to their soldiers and say, "Stand down. One way or the other, this is coming to an end." As they kind of just pass and leave the gate open for you. They don't follow you in, but the rest of your group does kind of turn to the four of you for answers, for what they should do next.
Wow. Okay, we made it. Wow, that was good. The
Right.
marching was really... That was amazing, Nana Maisel.
I just did what I thought y'all would do.
Learn from the best, right?
Yeah, that's weird because I do everything based on what I think you would do.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What would Nana Maisel do?
Again, stand tall. Shoulders up, chin up, butt in. And remember, no, anxiety go. I'm not gonna lie to you, this next spot's probably gonna suck. Nana goes, "Let's go." Walks on the inside.
As you walk in, sort of leaving Elizabeth, your group, pretty much the entirety of the Platinum Cross stood. There is that same tension, but also a level of understanding. Neither one of them sort of crosses over with you, as they're just at arms, making sure nobody else gets in. As you walk past, the gate closes, and you walk headlong into the castle. It is that same immaculate, shining example of what life in excess could be. Though it is so quiet. Normally there'd be workers, there'd be attendants, but there's just nothing in here. You can see a very clear path leading up to where you're pretty sure Saga is, the throne room.
Could I? Todd's going to lean into her little side satchel and take out one of her eggs. I just want to roll it down the hall as far as I can, just to see if it gets anybody intrigued enough to want to step out, or if we hear any rustling from it or gasps.
It's just pure silence. There is no rustling, no people. You gather the entire castle, or at least this section of it, is completely empty.
There's no one
No
here.
traps either.
Yeah, I think. I'm
That
not
was
leaving.
good, Odd.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I worked really hard on that one.
I'll go.
Okay.
Woman starts leading the way.
You walk up, sort of following those same steps, not to the courtroom where you made this big show to convince the crown, or at least so you thought, as you kind of go up to one of the more private chambers. You know this castle well, at least from what you've seen and what you've been told, until eventually you reach these huge double doors that leads to the proper throne room. And whatever's on the other side of them is ready to meet you. So in this last bit, is there anything your party would like to do before you go in?
Woman pauses, whirls around in front of the door. Okay. They take their mask off. I have no idea what's going to happen in there. Last night, all I dreamed about was worst house. Just looking at it from the street. So I don't know what that means, and it has nothing to do with what we're about to do. Like, nothing ever really does or has, but I'm ready.
Me too. Also, y'all know those eggs that you had this morning? Can I give them temporary HP? And I hope they were delicious, and let that energy bring you through to the end.
So
I think
is
it
that
might have been
everything?
the best egg I've ever had in my entire life.
Thank you. I really was like, put my love into it the way that Nana Maisel does.
So with that, how do you enter?
Holding hands. Or at least Omen.
Yeah, power of
Omen-
friendship.
That's like
power.
a small little like,
Yep.
yeah.
They're like,
Swing her in.
you know the anxiety thing? I think I need to hold hands or else I'm not going to be able to open the door.
I hold anyone's hands.
Yeah.
All right, the four of you hold hands and push the door open. It creaks in the silence, and you are met with a grand hall. Statues on either side of past kings and queens, and right there on the throne is Saga. And you can hear them say, "This could have been easy, but you chose to fight, to render judgment, and that's because there is no sweeter victory than watching someone else fail." And you watch as they get up from the throne, and you can see there's none of the court. The royal family isn't here, though as your eyes start to wander, you see Brina and Vale. It was a good plan. Try to turn the people against me, but there's one thing you forget, and that is the comfortability of their perceived reality. Some of them might have believed you as they kind of walk over to the balcony and look over the edge. Some of them. And, well, the unfortunate reality is sometimes requires a little bit of a push when people are so on edge. As you can see them make a motion, and then you start hearing fighting. You start to hear fighting. you gather not a riot, but just a struggle between the two groups as it starts to grow and grow. You know what? There's a valuable lesson to be learned here. As they walk over, you can see the other members of the Platinum Cross aren't here either. An important lesson about failure. Because the thing about failure is that everyone can't wait to tell you about it. Not their personal failures, no, but yours. As if you weren't there. As if you weren't living it. Failure is the mind grappling with the limitations of the flesh, where dream and reality dance across what is and what never will be. You can see as they kind of place their hand on Vale's head in their hair and just kind of turns them to face you. I discovered a long time ago that what makes a man is not his failures, for I have failed so beautifully, so completely, for so long, but never again. So, I welcome you, Omen, Odette, Artur, Maisel, for your last great failure starts and ends here. And see as they draw their sword. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ooh.
Hey, before we get into this, Saga, if that is your real name, failing builds character. There's a lesson to be learned from everything, including failing. Perhaps the greatest benefit earned from failure is strength. Think about it. If life were perfect and every endeavor ended in seamless success, what sort of person would you be? The truth is, failure teaches us more about ourselves and builds character better than success ever could, and you could learn from that.
You can see as they take a second and say, I'm gonna enjoy killing you.
He's confused because he
Good
didn't
luck.
actually mean any of that. Vale wrote that for him. Are we gonna talk or are we gonna fight?
Failure also instills courage. Just look at our friend Artois over here.
Alrighty. So,
It's a very good
initiative
acting
orders.
101.
Artur, start us off. What'd you get?
16. Oh, wait, plus 2. 18.
18. Got it. Throwing it over to Maisel. What'd you get?
8.
8. Ooh. Sam, odd.
Give me a second. 7.
Alrighty. 7. And finally, Omen.
15.
15. Alrighty. So, first in the order is Artur.
Ooh, me. Yes.
What do you do as you are sort of stood in this room with the other two on the side, him standing there, and your party? You are first up.
Oh, okay. I learned something really cool about myself last night. And so I'm gonna start off with that charge attack. What's it called? The animal focus of the tiger. First I'm gonna rage. So
Perfect.
well, like again, so while dashing, if I go 20 feet or more in a straight line, I can do a weapon attack with a +5 bonus to attack and damage.
Perfect. All right. Hit me
Okay,
with it.
12 plus 5, 17.
17 does not hit.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm right there now.
Yeah. So as you charge him, he doesn't look as intimidating. However, you do notice as you collide into him, he's a lot more sturdy than he should be.
Oh no.
And as you kind of push, roll me a perception check if you could.
Perception. All right. That is 10 minus 1 for a 9.
You don't hear a thing. Never mind. As you collide into him, he remains stood upright as he just holds you back with his shield. There's a bit of a creak to the armor. I'll give you that much.
It's a real surprise Pikachu face moment.
Very much so. As we toss it over to Omen.
Omen lifts their eyes up. Oh god. Yeah, okay. And I think as Artur goes forward, Omen flips their big cloak back. They raise an arm and they go, "You know, I met God, and God said you were a little bitch. And I would like to Eldritch Blast."
Absolutely. Roll an attack.
It's true. I was there.
17 plus 5, so whatever that number is.
That hits.
All right, let's go. Hey, I also have Agonizing Blast, so I'm going to add some extra stuff here.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, that is...
What's your charisma modifier?
Oh yeah, 8. 11 points of damage. Force damage.
Jesus Christ. Describe what this looks like. How does the impact look? How does the beam streaking across the courtyard look?
Level
The feather goes back, and for a moment, it's always that flies out from underneath where he was nesting in Omen's cloak and flies around the top of their head, and there's this little almost white wisp going through the air, like a ghost or like a feather darting forward, and always kind of dips down and almost rides the air current on top of it before sweeping up over Saga's head. And for a moment, it's like it didn't hit, the bird just kind of veers off, and then a second later, it's a big, huge punch right up underneath the gut in this explosion of black feathery flame.
Fuck yes. Okay, cool. With that, I'm going to need Artur to make another perception check.
Perception. 14 minus 1, 13.
Alrighty, that's a little bit better. You watch as this impact dents the metal of Saga's armor. They rise up from their feet for just a second, and then immediately, with almost unnatural speed, strike back into the ground, essentially planting themselves there. You hear mechanisms. It's the same sound that you heard in Ursat's of all those automatons. You're fairly certain Saga is flesh and blood, but his armor is doing the fighting for him.
That's so metal.
With that does actually bring us to Saga, unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Omen.
Nope, that's it for me.
Alrighty. So
Can I relay just
absolutely, yeah. Free action.
yeah, go for the armor. No sense in hitting him. Just that sort of sentiment, but more epic than that.
I love the more epic than that. As
I
he
feel like that
looks...
calmness was epic. It's like, yeah.
I picture Artur just kind of holding him there and shouting that back to you. Unfortunately, though, they did roll a crit as they go to strike you, Artur.
Ooh, okay, bring it. I have temporary hit points.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you do. Best eggs ever.
You take 10 points of damage.
Oh, does it auto hit? Oh, it's a crit.
Yeah, it's a crit.
Okay.
With 10 points of damage as they raise their sword to the sky, and there's this bit of crackling of energy, and you can hear the hydraulics hiss as they strike you down with it, as you can feel that sword jab into your side, sort of run you through ever so slightly. There is a level of skill to this that you just have not seen before. As you can see, at the very least, since I did actually forget to roll initiative for the two NPCs, you see his veil is kind of, their eyes are darting all across the room. But that is the resolution of their turn. Of Saga's turn, which then leads us over to Maisel.
Nana marches forward, not running, but marches, long enough to make sense. And you see, it's like an aura about her has exploded. Her sword that went from this rusty bucket of probably couldn't cut paper seems to have this eerily smoky purplish glow about her. It bellows out from underneath her cloak as she also wields her shield, and she brings up her sword to strike Saga straight down and goes, and will swing with everything she has to smite the shit out of this little piece of shit.
Alrighty.
It's been a minute since I've used this character. Does a 19 hit?
A 19 does not.
Oh my god.
A 19 does not.
A 19 does not. You do manage to strike down towards Saga, but similar to the rest of the encounters that they've had, you watch as they move with unnatural speed, as there's that same hydraulic hiss as they move out of the way. And they are going to use a legendary action, just real quick and fast, like to counterattack as you come streaking by. Does a 19 hit?
I'm going to use my guard bonus action to give that creature disadvantage for swinging at me. As Nana quickly brings up her shield and goes, "Fuck off!"
You do exactly that, as they do make contact with your shield, but you're much more used to fights with greater enemies than him, so the impact is not nearly as intense as you were expecting, as you gleam it off your shield, and the attack essentially fizzles in a way. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Unfortunately, that's all I have.
All right. Moving over to Odd. What do you do?
How far is Saga?
Currently about like 30 feet from you, as everyone else has sort of rushed up and like attacked him.
And they're wearing this armor that we've been
Plate
told
armor,
to
yeah.
go after.
Mhm.
What's around Saga?
Currently, it is the other two NPCs. Artur is there and Maisel is there. There's the
Distracted?
throne. He is pretty distracted, yeah.
Odd would like to run up and find an exposed spot of his armor, place her hand on it, and shocking grasp. It's
Ooh.
metal, isn't it?
It is extremely metal, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. It's a nat 20.
It doesn't even matter what the DC for that would have been. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Describe this to me. How does this look? What do you do?
Slipping across the floor, just trying to catch herself in this chaos of her friends being put in harm's way. And so imagine somebody finding that sweet spot on slippery floor and just gliding through as if it's so intentional accident, but she performs it well. As she slides through and sees the in-between of where Nana Maisel is, where Artur is, and of course where Saga is, she would reach up and just find any minuscule bit of metal as it glistens a bit from light hitting it, and place her hand up there, not quite looking at it. She's like, "I don't do this!" And shocking grasp. And that is 8 points of lightning damage.
Jesus
Which
Christ.
Is that the crit number or regular number?
That's the regular. How do you do crits again?
So that would be just double the damage, so that's 16. Oh, Christ. So as you reach up and take hold of one of the exposed bits of metal, the metallic musculature beneath the plates, you grab hold, and there is a brief moment where Saga looks like they're about to react, just reaches out towards you, and then is electrocuted. You see as he starts to stutter, and the armor itself starts to glitch out as one of his arms is now rendered useless, as it just drops, and is the sheer weight of it keeps him from using it. The mechanics, the machinery, the plate metal itself, as he just screams.
She would immediately remove her hand. All right, I'm gonna make like an egg and scramble, and actually get up and remove herself from that exact spot.
Right. Believe this would be an attack of opportunity, since you would have had to get melee range. Does a 17 hit?
Yes.
17 does
I would
hit.
like to use shields as a reaction.
Yes.
Okay.
Omen, seeing this like electric spark, goes, "Safety diamond!" And they throw out their hand, and these big spectral wings come and cover you to give you a +5 bonus to your AC.
It doesn't hit.
Alrighty. So as they kind of throw their other arm towards you, trying to clobber you in the face, you can see as the wings come up and sprout and envelop you in their glow, and you just keep striking the wings, but it does not break. It holds fast. The safety diamond is real. As that resolves
you,
your
Omen.
turn. That throws us back up to the top of the order with Artur. What do you do?
Ooh, okay. I will invoke the animal focus of the alligator and go for a grapple.
Gator, gator.
Do I roll for grapple? How do grapple checks work? It's a strength check, right?
Yeah, this would be contested strength, I'm fairly certain.
Okay, is straight strength
Grappler
or
does strength. The
Or
defender
athletics.
does
athletics? Okay, hold on. Do I have athletics? I do
Although,
have athletics.
If he's got an arm rendered useless.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's rolling with disadvantage on this.
Okay. Awesome. That is 21 total.
That's so much more than I got. You managed to grab him, rendering him essentially immobile.
Okay. The focus of the alligator allows me to, as a bonus action, deal force damage equal to my strength modifier plus rage damage bonus to one creature grappled by you. So I will deal 5 damage.
Christ. Okay.
And as I do, I yell to Brina and Vale, "Brina, Vale, get out of here!"
All right. They are currently tied up. I will say
never
that
mind.
much.
Okay.
But are otherwise out of the fight. You watch as you bear down on their armor and the plates start to creak and indent, and you can hear the machinery whirring and screaming, trying to escape this. But you hold fast and you watch as Saga, a look of
So-
fear
Yeah.
falls across their face.
So creatures I grapple are also restrained because that means some stuff. And my speed isn't halved while carrying or dragging a creature that I'm grappling. So I'm gonna try my best to move Saga away from Brina and Vale as best I can.
All right. So you managed to sort of drag them over, throwing us over to Omen's turn.
I think Omen, kind of seeing the parallels of what's happening, thinks again about raising that Eldritch Blast because that felt really good the first time. But they trust their family, their friends, their home. And I think instead they dash over to Brina and to Vale, kind of come to a skidding stop. Okay. Stand up straight and clench your butt. And Omen's gonna start to untie them to get them free.
You see as they're both kind of bound and gagged, you do start to untie them. For the sake of it, using your turn, you could probably get both of them. It's not that difficult. You gather Saga's probably not a Boy Scout. Though as Vale gets free, they kind of point up towards the rafters of the building, and you can see something shining. There is a handful of streaks of shining liquid that runs all across the various banisters, the cross sections, down towards the throne.
Omen looks at it and then looks at Vale and yanks off the gag. What is that? What does that do? Is that gonna blow up?
Probably.
Probably.
He's a really sore loser.
Okay. I think that's it for my turn this round.
Alrighty. So that then brings us to Saga, who is currently grappled, so he's going to try to escape it.
It's contested, right?
Yes, this is contested.
Oh, you're cooked.
I forgot. Disadvantage. What'd you get?
24.
Ah, Christ!
I rolled a 19.
He is going to try his best, but ultimately fail, as you can feel the machinery doing most of the heavy lifting, but it's still not enough as he shouts, "No, not like this. You don't deserve to win! None of you!" As they are continuing to struggle, and you can see in a way just how pathetic this grand hero is as he whines and has a tantrum over this. I've worked too hard to be stopped now. As we throw it over to Maisel.
Maisel once again, making her sweet time. You see a sinister grin come amongst her face, and that smoky bellowness that's been like eroding from her is starting to take over her right eye, as the only thing left is her piercing red, as she like readies her sword to thrust into him, trying to straight up kill him.
Because
Absolutely, go for it.
because he's restrained, your attacks have advantage.
Oh. I'm going to need it. 23?
Yep, that hits.
Let's go.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and smite, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use my bonus action, which is Sanctifying Light, which allows me to, not that one, my bonus action Wind Up, that allows me to add my peanut butter proficiency bonus to the damage.
Peanut butter.
And so it is, I'm going to roll 3d8 plus 5. So that's 8 plus, that's 11. That is 6 plus 11, 17 plus 5. 17 plus 5 is 22 points of damage. As her smite, once again, everything is just shadowy purposely. So when she thrusts into it, it's like the shadow drives into a single point into his armor and then explodes out from there.
Okay. As you do. That was a lot of damage. As you strike down, you feel that shadow pulse throughout the armor. Every circuit, every motor, every piece of metal feels that energy as a majority of it starts to short and falls away, leaving them in sort of this under exoskeleton. You can see now bits and pieces. He's definitely bleeding as you stuck him all the way through, managing to avoid Artur, luckily enough. He screams in pain. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Nana gives a gentle cackling. As you can easily see that in her next turn, she's going to do it again.
Alright. We'll see what next turn brings. His next turn is Saga's. As he looks to you and... Fine. Have it your way. As they raise a hand and is going to... Ooh. You watch as they position a hand out towards the throne. And there's a bit of a spark to the palm as a single firebolt streaks across the room towards the throne, and the entirety of it bursts into flames. You can see as that travels along the banisters, along the pillars, and now the entirety of the throne room is burning. You can feel that heat as it sort of licks at each of your faces of your bodies, that warmth that envelops the room. And he says, I spent so much time holding on to what I have, and now I realize it was all meaningless. Sometimes the best course of action is to burn it all down. I'll see you all in hell. As they kind of just go limp in a way and just accept what comes next, as the other doors as well, the doors to the throne room, close. This then brings us to Omen. Oh, sorry, not Omen. Maisel.
Oh, Maze.
Yeah, this would have been Maisel's turn. My apologies.
I just did my turn, so now it's odd.
Yes. Sorry, I've messed up the order on this. Bottom line, that does happen. Yeah, sorry. Odd's turn.
So Saga's gone?
Saga's still alive. They've just kind of accepted their fate and sealed you in a burning room.
How quickly are things igniting?
Pretty fast. You gather this is not just like typical oil. This is like some kind of accelerant.
Okay, so throwing eggs at it won't help douse the flame.
Yeah, probably not.
Gotcha. It would cook a lot of eggs.
Shit ton of eggs.
So many fried eggs.
Is there anything between us and the exit?
There's nothing between you and the exit per se. It's just both of the exits that the entrance to this room is sealed, and you assumed locked. You gather this is kind of
Assumed?
their like last.
Could I go try?
You can. It is in fact locked. You gather this is probably Saga's last Hail Mary.
I truly don't know what to do, y'all.
Mm.
Because I don't know how everybody is reacting in this moment with Flame. Are people still fighting? Are people trying to leave? Because that will help me with what I'm trying to do.
If he's, I don't think if he's not fighting back, I'm still grappling him, but I'm not like actively fighting.
I mean, one would assume that being in a room that's on fire is not a good thing.
Is there
Getting
a
out.
keyhole?
Yeah.
Can I try to lockpick it?
Sure. Why not? Roll me a
I'm
sleight of
good
hand.
at it.
Do you even have lockpicks?
I had one in my adventure pack thing.
Then yeah,
Sure.
go for it.
but
Roll
I
me a
don't
sleight of
have
hand.
it right now.
Let's go. Let's do it.
16.
16. You do get the mechanism unlocked, though as you push or pull, you gather it's probably deadbolted.
I need someone strong. And that would be my turn.
Alrighty. That throws us over back to the top of the order with Artur.
Oh, it's me.
Yay.
I am going to. I'm gonna drag. Yeah, I'm gonna drag Saga over to the door, and basically just go. Open it. You are going to answer for everything. I'm not letting you die here. No one is dying here.
Kind of looks up at you, defiant. Doesn't say a word, but doesn't open the door. So we sort of exit combat at least. A little bit more free range on roleplay as you drag him over, and the room is still burning. You can see as he just kind of spits in your direction. Kind of rendered motionless almost from the deactivation of this heavy armor he is wearing. The plates have essentially fallen away, but it's still a lot of machinery that his body cannot lift.
Omen sprints over, I think, with Vale and Brina, having like kind of helping them back to the door where everyone is starting to gather. Vale, can you hack the door? Can you get in? Can you artificer your way out of here?
Can I hack the door? It's made of wood, Omen.
Smash it.
Yeah, but you made these amazing, incredible things for this asshole, and you're the one who is able to figure everything out. What's the next step in the story here? What do we do? I trust you. We trust you.
Kind of rattles through. Usually I have supplies. I have something. As they're going to look around the room. Oh, good for you, Vale.
Go Vale.
You can see as he kind of surveys the area and kind of falls back on the throne. And he looks to the four of you and says, okay, if it's to believe that he stole a majority of my inventions, as he looks down at him, it stands to reason a lot of the mechanisms remain the same, right?
Yeah.
As he looks over the throne and kind of harkens back to the Samadi throne.
Yeah, I'm gonna
As-
yell somebody's chair.
as he runs over and lo and behold manages to pry one of the stones away from the full structure and immediately starts to get to work. You have maybe a few moments as he's starting to throw the mechanisms out, does actually run over to the pile of broken machinery from Saga's armor and starts tinkering something together. Is there anything you guys would like to do as the room is burning? You can see Brina and sort of huddles over towards you, scared out of her mind, and Saga remains quiet.
Question.
Yes.
Are we on another story? Like a building height?
Yes, you are like up in the tower, essentially, like in where like they would live, essentially, like a residential area of the palace.
I did a roll, which is a coin flip, and I could have Odd turn into a chicken. And what if I was able to glide from this tower as a chicken to the ground below? One, to get help as quickly as possible, but whatever else the group would be.
Oh my god,
Thinking
that's
is best.
amazing. We have a dragon.
You do have a dragon.
You have a dragon.
Plan Z. I think it's time for Plan Z.
Plan Z
Sounds
for
like you just
dragon.
like plumes of little
Do
feathers.
you manage to transform into a chicken?
Yeah, I flipped it before I said the.
Alrighty.
just to
So
see.
as you glide down to the ground, the room's still burning. You watch as Vale is working, but a lot of the mechanisms are not responding the way that he wants to. You could see as he starts to panic and is essentially paying you guys no mind, as he's just mumbling to himself as Odd, you jump out the window as a chicken and eventually make it to the ground. You can see the sheer amount of chaos that has erupted in the city. You can see some of the buildings are burning as there is just this fight, this struggle, and you can see why. There are 4 individuals stood in the crowd, and they all look like you. As
Oh,
they are
wieners.
going about fighting the entirety of the city. You gather it's more as a deterrent, as a distraction, but there is this sort of fight that is going on, and you do see Elizabeth kind of amongst them.
If I am so graceful enough, could I land on a fence?
Absolutely,
to
you
get
can.
some height for
Yeah.
myself. Am I aware that Elizabeth is Elizabeth?
Yeah, it's like just Elizabeth. She is like fighting, or at least trying to defend herself from a lot of these like various rioters.
If
Looks like
Odd
the chicken form.
could, yeah, like Odd would be trying to balk real loud for
Okay.
Elizabeth before, obviously I would come out of my chicken form and sitting on the side of this bench. Elizabeth!
Turns over and starts running towards you.
Who are they? That's not me.
We don't know. They
Well,
just
tackle
came out of
them.
nowhere. We have been. We don't know
Oh.
who these people are.
Sorry. We're so slippery. Slippery. Hold on. And she's gonna hand Elizabeth some eggs. Throw eggs at their feet and make them fall.
Okay. Where's the rest of the party?
In that burning building up there. So we need to make this quick so we can save our friends. I'm
Priorities,
serious,
Odd.
Elizabeth.
Tosses the eggs over to another person, kind of gives them the order, and
Odd
there
does
is
the same
a-
with some more people.
there's a quick beat as smoke starts to envelop Elizabeth's form. And you can see, similar to your transformations, the sort of like almost grotesqueness of it, but rather than meat sort of tearing and flesh ripping, it is instead burning. You can see as the sort of like more feminine presenting figure starts to turn to ash around them as 2 wings sprout out from the form, and you are met with an ancient red dragon who
Oh no.
kind of lets you hop on and flies up to the building, and you can see the others. You are sort of caught up in this moment as Vale has still not gotten the mechanism to work, but you hear the wing beat of dragon.
Yeah, I think at this
outside.
point would have brought everyone towards the balcony so that we don't die of smoke inhalation.
Sounds
The
good.
Odd waving on this big old dragon. Hey
Riding the
everybody, I
dragon.
did it!
You see as they
Oh,
kind of
that includes Saga.
so you drag Saga on. You can see there's a bit of a snarl to Elizabeth as she sees Saga. Drag him on. You watch as she careens back down to the ground, and there stands 4 duplicates of you. Each of you stood there.
Don't worry, we've already thrown eggs at their feet so they're easier to take down. but they're not us, obviously. But we need to use our voices ASAP before people keep thinking we're the bad guys.
God dang it. Nana's just gonna walk over to her Nana and just like push it over. This is a goddamn mannequin, isn't it? It's a goddamn mannequin.
No, the real. I know.
You kind of, push your way through the crowd as everyone is still riding. There is still chaos, but you do see your duplicate and push them over. You can see the mannequin that has now just watching the rest, essentially, of this burning building. You gather whatever mechanism was controlling them is also probably falling away as Vale kind of starts fidgeting with something, and in the time manages to deactivate some of them as you just kind of deal with that. But there is still a crowd, a riot to deal with, so what do you do?
Omen looks down at Saga, and then up at Saga, the Saga that's still in the sky, I assume, and then down at that Saga. You need to tell everyone. You need to tell everyone the truth.
I don't need to do a thing.
Why did you do it? Why this? Why go to all this trouble? Why did you do this? Because you were afraid that your family wouldn't love you enough unless you were exactly what they wanted you to be? What was it, because you disliked yourself so much that you thought you were cursed forever? Or that you were too old to have anyone care about you anymore? Or that you were willing to sacrifice everything for the next people? Or that you didn't give yourself enough credit for the things that you can do really well? What was it? What was it that made you do this?
Roll me this borders on intimidation. Persuasion or intimidation?
I'll take persuasion, actually.
Alright.
Oh my god. 19 plus 3 plus 2. 5.
Yes, keep projecting, baby.
19 plus
You're
5.
winning.
Projection is the solution to all problems.
They-
They look up to you, and they're trying so hard to hold on to the hate they feel towards you for, bringing all of this crumbling down around them, as they just say, I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be someone. I wanted to matter.
Me too. But I realized throughout this whole thing that I was. And I did my friends a huge disservice by ever thinking so badly of them. I didn't get what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted at all. But you know what? At least I'm proud of myself. Are you proud of what you've done? Do you still think that you're loved? Did you get it? Did you get what you want?
You can see that persona that they've cultivated for themselves starts to wither and crack. They just look over at Vale, who presumably was once their friend, looks around and sees that the people he surrounded himself with are gone, looks at his Hail Mary burning the castle, looks at the mannequins that he thought would turn the city against you. No, I don't. I'm so tired.
Um, as he says he's so tired, all that billowing smoke about Nana, she seems to go away. You see her drop her sword. The shield drops out of her hands. She slowly starts to unbuckle her gloves, releases the robe from around her, and she kneels down in front of Saga. She just reaches out and gives him a big, tight hug and says, "Same, dear. Same."
You see they're resistant to it at first, but then they just drop their head and it rests against your shoulder. Really unable to hug back as he's trapped in this metal cage that he's built for himself. As he turns over to Vale and rattles off a series of numbers. And there's a brief second where Vale is confused, but then understands and starts tinkering again with some of the machinery, grabs some things from Vale's equipment, and creates a sort of microphone apparatus. He kind of holds it out to your party. This should let you record over whatever that is. Gave me the service codes.
You don't want my voice.
Actually, I think we do.
No, mine's very annoying and little. We need someone who has some power and conviction, like you, Nana. Because you can also give it with warmth.
Fine.
But I don't think your voice is annoying, Odd. And you actually have a lot of conviction. So don't say that about my friend,
you.
okay?
I'm the friend.
Anna will let Saga go. And she'll walk over to Vale. And she will take the microphone and essentially will go, "People of the city, this is what you need to know." And she will gently rattle off all the information, as well as providing bits and pieces of information from basically from where it started to where it ends. And she will say, towards the end of that, "You now know the truth. It's up to you to use it."
See, during that whole speech, all around you, the large illusion of yourself, essentially, speaking to the people of the city. Vale chimes in occasionally, and surprisingly, at the very end, Saga decides to speak up and confesses to what he's done. The fighting begins to die out. We watch as the camera pulls back from your group amidst a burning city, and we find that in time, they managed to rebuild over the weeks. So eventually we find ourselves back at Worst House. You just came back from another quest, another round of helping people as your group, but you always knew this day was coming. Because as you cross the threshold, rather than Elizabeth greeting you, you see the tritoned god, the Reaper. They're currently sat, having tea. Just looks up at you.
Nope. No, kidding.
Just leave.
What are you doing here?
I really wish you would call ahead so that I could clean up before my god shows up in the living room.
I mean, I live in a greenhouse, so really, Not that big of a deal.
It's good
Ah.
to see you again.
You as well. You can see as they sort of, again, shift between the various ages and sort of move almost like a mirage through the desert as they walk up to your group, still holding the tea. Did you succeed? It's hard to tell when everything is and is not all at the same time.
It's a work in progress.
But I'm happy.
I suppose that's all that matters. Kind of starts to kind of drift, circling you like a bird. So there's those sort of inconsistencies to like their movement, sudden jolts. I'm sure you know why I'm here.
For the burgers. They're real good.
I can put an easy egg on it too. It's like a breakfast.
That's it. Nothing else, right? That's exactly what's going to happen.
If only. Maisel, you know why I'm here.
It would be at this time that the group would have noticed that Nana was about 5 to 10 feet behind them. Once she saw who was there, she knew what was going on. And this entire time, she has been taking off her armor. And for the first time, you actually see Nana as she is, which is super old. Her skin is wrinkly, covered in battle scars. It seems as if she's been cut almost in every part of her body, all healed, but still cut. And what looked to be this big, imposing figure in the armor is a gentle old woman, and she brings her cloak about her because it is now a little cold. And she looks towards Birdman's like, well, hello there, little Birdman. Took you a while. I'd imagine time was, what, you was waiting or something? Or was you bird? I'm assuming the flowers were growing in your lovely house. Is it about that time?
Just about. Consider those weeks a kindness. I
Okay.
have been pondering something you said when we last spoke, that only memory can defeat death. What did you mean by that?
There's two lives that everyone has. The one they have and the one they leave. You live the one you have, and the memories you cast, the experiences you share, that is the second one. And that will last well beyond your years. Because memories, like stories, get passed from generation to generation. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm old and tired.
Aren't we all? I'm sure you know what comes next. I have to remove you from fate. Your thread must be severed. And everyone will forget you.
That is the deal.
Wait, it doesn't make sense though. You just asked how we are and said we're good, and you said that's all that matters. Our happiness is all that matters. That includes Nana. So if that's all that matters, then why do you have to take her away?
You can see as they sort of shrink down from sort of adolescent figure to more of a child, as they say. It's not about what I want. It's about what the universe wants. The balance must be maintained. The lives you live now were never meant to happen. The energy has to come from somewhere. Can't make something from nothing.
There are 3 faces and 3 homes and 3 requests that I would like to make.
See as they kind of walk up to you, now in the visage of an old woman.
I understand you. I devoted my life to you. And I understand why it has to happen. I'm not afraid of death. I think I love you in a lot of ways. And I think I always have. But I love her very much too. And Omen gestures to Nana Maisel. And I would not be happy without remembering her ever again in my life. She's changed me and us. So, if there needs to be a balance made, I look at the future, and I see the future, and I see all of the future. That's the gift you've given me. So, allow me to trade that future, be able to see the past. Us to see the past. The 3 of us. So that we might never forget Nana Maisel. I don't need to see into the future. I just need to remember her.
See as they ponder your requests. And you have learned quite a bit since last I looked in on you. My understanding of you is flawed in ways because you are so delightfully different. I'm proud of the person you've become, Omen.
Me too.
I will grant your request. But the others must give up something as well.
Anything.
Can't make something from nothing.
You can have all my eggs. You can take away my ability to be able to shift into anything, because I don't need to be anything other than myself, because that's who Nana taught me to be.
And you, Artur?
I don't know if there's anything to give. I have nothing. I can. I think there's a little bit of a calculation going on in Arthur's head. I can bear whatever you need, whatever you want. Curse, pain. Because Nana gave me the strength, and I have friends and family now to help me bear them. What you want from me, I will give it. Just ask.
You can see as now they've taken a rather familiar form, that of Brina, not to taunt you, but to provide some form of comfort in what comes next, as they say. You are fortunate to have those who would help you shoulder this burden. I can take Omen's sight. I can take Odd's powers. But you have nothing save for them, and I won't take that away. So perhaps consider this. It's not what I can take from you, but what I can ask of you later down the line, as it's all the same to me. I will call on your group once more. Could be tomorrow, could be years from now, but when I do, you must answer.
Is no one going to ask me what I think? Did you all forget your manners?
Nana, what do you think?
I think you three are the biggest fools I've ever met. If you think that giving up a single piece of yourself is worth one life. I will not allow you to give up your sight. I will not allow you to give up your talents. And Artie, I will not allow you to give up your heart to save the life of a woman who's lived far too long. So I'm going to be selfish. And I will refuse. And instead, if they must keep my life, then I offer you my memories. All of them. Save the one that I need to function in society. There's over 670 years of memories I have. Experiences, loves, family, friends. I can offer that. The life beyond living. The one that you cannot take so easily. I will still live. They will still know me. But I'll have to learn them all over again.
If that is what you want, then who am I to deny you? A life must be paid. And what is a life if not a collection of memories and experiences?
Nana,
Yes, my dear.
I want you to know your life and your memory is worth sacrificing for. You gave us so much of your time. So don't you ever think for a moment that we would not give you what you've given us. Love, like any form of devotion and care, demands something from us, and we would not shy away from that. And we would not shy away from loving you again a second time, just as much.
If you are the heroes that I've always thought you were, I have no doubt that that is true.
Hey, Nana, you've lived so much longer than any of us. You've gone through a lot of things that we can only hear stories about. Remember what we were talking about with failure? You've seen a lot of it. We haven't. And by focusing on what can be learned from a failure appears to help people persevere with a better chance of success next time. The knowledge in your memories can help save even more in the future. It can help teach us more so that we can continue to persevere with more of that in the future as well. The world needs you, Nana. We need you.
You are my future. That's why I can't let you give up any part of it.
But what if I tell you I can't move on from that? I don't want to accept that as the future. That's not the future I want.
I don't know.
That's fair.
Now,
Yes, my dear.
there are 3 homes. The one you're born into, the one you find, and the one you choose. We choose you. And now it's time for you to choose. If you need to rest, then we understand. But you can't take the memory of you away from us.
It will be okay. As I said before, as I'll say to the 3 of you over and over again, and hopefully this time you'll listen. You are my memories. You are my lessons. You put too much weight upon an old lady's shoulders, saying that you learned so much from me. All I did was point a direction that you were already walking. It is okay. It will be fine. It will hurt. But all wounds heal. But this is a debt that must be paid. This is the best way that I can think to pay it without letting you sacrifice for an almost 700-year-old woman. I can't allow that.
Can I do a quick pause above the table? I feel like I'm slightly confused, only because Omen's idea of like giving something was for Nanamazel to remember Nanamazel, because Nanamazel would be taken out of existence, not necessarily to keep Nanamazel.
Yeah. Nana offered to erase all of her own memories, so that she can live and you guys can remember her without giving up a part of any of you. That's what she.
Essentially, the 3 options are, the basic deal, which is she's just removed entirely. Nobody remembers her. The other option is what you presented, Omen, which is you guys get to remember her, and she's gone, but you get to remember her and you have to give up something. Or the alternative, which Nana is presenting, she stays, but only she's the only one who forgets her, essentially.
Cool. I'm cool with any of it, with at least the latter 2. Yeah,
that one.
And Omen was trying to present like it's up to you, Nana, to decide what you want to do, and that we're happy to sacrifice. We can give to you in a form of love if you are tired and want to rest, but if you want to keep living, then
Cool. We will pick up with just, I guess, the Reaper coming in for that decision. You watch as the Reaper, kind of standing behind and bearing witness to all of this, finally speaks up, puts the teacup down, and walks over to Mazel. We've heard many options, but the decision is still yours. I simply facilitated. What do you want, Maisel?
She looks at the three of you. I guess I can live a little longer. But I don't need my memories.
It is a great burden to bear. Memory. I hope in the end, your group finds peace. At the end of whatever road you travel. If there is one thing to leave you with, it is the knowledge that you are loved. You can see as the Reaper bends down towards your forehead, gives you a very small peck. You can see as they pull back, this sort of golden thread floats between their lips and your forehead till it's eventually free floating and starts to spin till eventually it creates a golden egg. They pluck it from free floating and walks over to the group. Keep it safe.
Come on out, that's your job.
Yeah, I just don't know if I have any room in my carton.
It's more symbolic than anything else.
Yeah, but she's thinking, I gotta make it fit nice and neatly. Oh, good thing I haven't collected any. Okay, she would, in that sense. I'm gonna protect this egg. Also with the shell of Omen's egg, she places them side by side.
As they turn over to Maisel. You have a few moments of clarity left, but you can feel the memories fading. And it's not scary. It's not a punishment per se, but rather like you can finally exhale. This is when I throw the DM hat over to you. What is it like for Maisel?
In a way, it's giving up a life. Nana would relive her life one more time. From this first decade to the second, to the 10th, to the 20th, to the 35th. The family she's made, the kingdom she's thrown, the kingdom she's run. Her first love, her second love. The kids she remembers, the kids she doesn't remember. It all culminates to the last couple of months with the kids standing before her. Her last chance to make sure that she did something right. She was devoted to him the whole time. She will take a few steps towards the three. And she would just bury her head into Omen's chest. Give her a big hug. And for the first time, you feel that age. Memory kept her strength, and it's fading. So is her strength. She hugs you as tight as possible, but it's not the same.
So Omen leans down and meets the strength where hers fails, and extends an arm out for Odd and for Artur as well. So that where Maisel's strength fails, the three of them can bring what she lost.
You have Artur.
Remember to Keep your chin up. Shoulders back. Clench your butt. Just be who you always have been.
God brings you all in for a hug. Like her little arms really only wrap around Artie and Omen. Obviously, she's like pushing into your stomach, Nana Maisel, and pulling the others in as closely as she can. Big group hug. She squeezes to the best of her ability.
And there your group stands for a moment, and the Reaper fades into the background. And for Maisel, it is the last and the first time you have hugged these people, this family. And the camera pulls back through the doors of Worst House. And the door shuts. And with that, our story comes to a close. And in moments, we see throughout the years Odd who learned that as long as you're true to yourself, the love you seek will find you in the end. We see Artur Basil Kane, who learned it's never too late to reach out to the people around you, and that you are always worthy of love. There's Omen, who learned you shouldn't ever be so focused on who you're meant to be that you neglect who you are now. And finally Maisel, old and content, who learned that of all the things you accomplished during your life, nothing will be more important than the people you love and who love you in return. So, as I address my players and the audience, allow me to say that in time, you may find your thoughts drifting back to this place, this time spent together, and in many ways, that's all I could ever hope for. Nothing is more valuable than the time you spend imagining a better world and a better you. We're all stories in the end, fractals of reflected thoughts and hopes colliding with each other in the eternal chaos of life and love, separated but the same, suffering the woes of forces unseen. But in those moments of quiet introspection, you'll find that those very same feelings of frustration, of joy, loss, or gain, it's those little tiny moments that lead us to who we're meant to be in the end. And sometimes it's just the act of trying to reach that makes the journey worthwhile. Because the thing about failure is that it rarely lasts forever. And that's where we'll end both this session and this story. Thank you so much for watching The Worst Heroes You Know. As always, I am HamaSamaKun, your dungeon master for this evening, for this game, and forevermore in Season 2 after you Ko-Fi see $20. Season 2.
That's right. C is in 2. The second.
You could find me at HamaSamaKun on all social media platforms, doing a lot of this, doing storytelling, doing funny little jokes and videos. This game meant the absolute world to me, and I'm so glad that I got to tell this story with the people at my table, and it is absolutely everything I could have ever hoped for it, and I hope that you all take something away from it as well. And with that, I will pass it over to C.
Oh God, throw me right under the bus while I'm still trying to collect myself.
Wow, how cruel.
How cruel. Evil GM moves never stop. Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they them pronouns, and you can find me making very trans, very gay art across the internet at C Plays RPG. But instead of talking about any of that, I want to talk for just a moment about how grateful I am to have sat at this table, to have told this story amongst an incredible cast and crew, and how grateful I am to have played Omen, the prophet, the bird nun, uses they them pronouns, and is very excited to love their family a second time.
Oh, that was really sweet.
We'll pass it on.
Why'd you start with C? Why did you start with C? You know this. You know.
It's a lesson I learn every game. And following that, Kappa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kappa. I played Artor in The Worst Heroes You Know. And there's just... You can find me on the internet at the Kappa Chris. I do TTRPG things. I write, I perform, I muse about these things on the internet. Lexi, I'm very, very grateful to have been able to sit at this table and tell you a story and hope that you took something away from this. I know I did. I'm not going to try to do any more than that. I don't think I can. But it's there. And that's really all we can ask for. Except for season 2. Give us
Season 2. Just saying,
Give us-
Kobold Press, people who have money, just toss it our way. We get season 2 up and running. I already got it planned out. We got it going. As we will now throw it over to Sam.
I'm Sam, just another one of your creators all over the internet for TTRPG stuff, mainly for charity. But I'm so grateful that I got to play Odd with this group. She was just a little part of me growing up, being so different. And I feel so welcome. We're the worst heroes you knew, but we're the best heroes you know. I love this.
Damn.
Reversal attack damage.
Very
And
effective.
finally, we will close out with Lamar.
Manly tears. Hello, everybody. My name is Lamar, the con guy. It's Elliot Mayar, the con guy. You can find me on the internet, causing emotional damage to myself and others. I was honored, lucky, blessed, rolled a natural 20 to have played Nana Maisel at this table with these fantastic people. And now the internet has video of me crying. And so I'm going to go punch a duck or something.
Allegedly.
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 No, goose. Canadian geese, unallegedly. Those are bastards.
My camera froze, but luckily it was at the end, so we'll close out in just a second. I just gotta do that real quick. Or not. Or it could just not work. That's cool
He
too.
just looks
Refresh
so
it. Oh, God,
happy.
You do.
I'm always so
You're so proud of
excited.
us.
I am.
There
I'm
you
so
go.
there we go. And with that, we close out our story and hope and pray for a season 2. But I just want to spend this time to thank everybody for being part of it, for watching it, and my players for helping me tell it. This story means so much to me as a creative, as a person, as a weirdo who has been constantly searching for a place to belong and found it to some degree. But more than anything, it's just learning to be okay with your various eccentricities, and that sometimes it'll help you tell a pretty cool story. But enough said of bits. I refuse to cry on camera. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have been amazing. Like and subscribe, comment your favorite duck, and we'll see you in season 2, most likely.
God.
But before we do close out, I will say that as the camera lingers on the city of Relay, we watch as a figure walks into frame, approaching its grand metal gates. We're unsure who this person is, but in their hand is a picture of Maisel. And with that,
Not
we
the
will
post-credit
end
scene.
this
Not the
game.
post-credit. What the?
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next time. Bye, everyone.